If you are not familiar about the working of Pix2Pix, you may face difficulty understanding concepts used in this video. So I recommend you to watch that first. In previous video of this series, we were implemented Pix2Pix for paired image-to-image translation. Paired images having aligned sets of images pairs, and the goal is to learn the mapping between input and output pairs. And this is what we did in the previous video by creating a Pix2Pix model. But it is not necessary that we may have paired images for every real world problems. For now, let's take this example. If you want to convert an image of an apple to an orange, you can use Pix2Pix because these are paired images. But if you replace the target image with this, now you no longer have paired images, and hence you can't apply Pix2Pix here. So the researchers used entirely different technique by training two models to achieve unpaired image-to-image translation. Let's look how that works. First, we have a GAN which learns the mapping between X and Y with an adversarial loss like we do previously. Then we have a second GAN which will learn inverse mapping. And on both the output, there will be a discriminator to detect whether a generated image is real or fake. So the mapping works in following way. The first function will try to map input X to Y, where a discriminator will be there to evaluate whether the generated image is real or fake and penalize the network accordingly. Then the second mapping function will take that output and try to reconstruct the input again. And the network will continue to follow the cycle until the generated Y will fool the discriminator as if it is real. And here will be our loss function which measures the error between original input and the reconstructed one after each cycle. And this loss function is called cycle consistency loss function. Similarly, we can do the inverse mapping. For that, we'll take Y and try to map X using second mapping function. Here we'll have a discriminator and you already know Y. Then we'll use the first mapping function to reconstruct input Y from output and measure the loss again. We are doing inverse mapping, that's why this loss function will be called backward cycle consistency loss function, and in the previous case it was forward cycle consistency loss function. And by the name of loss function, this network got its name as cycle consistent adversarial network and better known as cycle GAN. So the loss function for training the first mapping function is this, where the discriminator and generator train adversarially. If you are not familiar about the working of conditional GAN or Pix2Pix, then you may find hard to understand. So please watch those videos first to fully grasp this concept. The link is in the description and also here. Just for an overview, I can tell you that generator wants to minimize the whole term and discriminator wants to maximize the whole term. So we have a loss function for G, and similarly we can have a loss function for second mapping function F. Now we have two adversarial losses to train both the generators that will map input X to Y. But for reconstructing X again from the output, we need cycle consistent loss. And we can simply measure mean absolute error between reconstructed input and original input for both the cases. And we will have our cycle consistent loss function. By summing all the equations, we'll get our full objective function, and by minimizing this, you can have a cycle GAN model. So let's see how we can implement it in code. For this tutorial, I am using these things. One thing I would like to mention that if you have GPU less than 4 gigs, then please train this model on Google Colab because two large models will train simultaneously and require at least 4 gigabytes of GPU. I will be using UNet architecture from Pix2Pix for making generator, but this time I'll not be creating from scratch and simply importing it from a library. So if you are interested in creating it from scratch, please watch the video on Pix2Pix. And now let's begin. Download these dependencies first. Import wget library for downloading the dataset, and the link for the dataset which we are going to use right now is in the description. And use wget download function to download the file. The file will be in zip format, so you will need to extract it first. You can use zip file to extract all the contents. Open that zip file and use zip.extractAll function to unzip. The extracted content will be in your working directory, where that directory contains 4 subdirectories. Train A contains source images and Train B contains target images. And same case with test A and test B too. And the goal is to perform mapping from A to B. Now import some ingredients to do further works. Here I am importing Pix2Pix from TensorFlow examples, so that I don't have to build UNet model from scratch. Enable TensorFlow memory growth so that it won't consume all GPU memory at the time of initialization, which sometimes give out of memory error when you have entry-level GPU like me. Define the path where train and test directories are, and define the name of all 4 directories too. Now construct full path for each image in the directory by joining the paths, and do it for all 4 of them. Now we have path for files ready. Now write a function to load the images. First, read the file from path and decode is as JPG. Cast the data type and resize the image to 256 by 256 fixed size. Now pass a sample file in the function to see whether it is working or not. And everything seems fine, hence the loading image part is done. Now write a function for random cropping the image, which will help later for data augmentation. And this function will normalize such that the value will be in range from -1 to +1. Now write a function for data augmentation. First, resize the image little bit large and use random crop function to crop random fixed part of the image. And use random flip to flip images horizontally. And with this, the image augmentation part is also done. Now we can combine all together to make a preprocess function. First, for training, load the image, use data augmentation, normalize, and then return the image. And for testing, just load the image, normalize, and just return. We don't need augmentation in this part, as we already know why. Now create a pipeline for loading and pre-processing data at the time of training for both training and testing set. Now pre-process the image using map function for every mini batches. And do it for training and test set. Once it's done, we can try checking by loading a sample into memory. And it is loaded. We can visualize it as well by the same procedure. Make a subplot for placing 2 images side by side and place both the images at both places. And done. Source and target are done. And with this, the dataset part is finished. Now we have to build model and train it. Define the number of output channels. 3 represents RGB. Now build the generator using UNet architecture for mapping from image A to B, and do the same for inverse mapping, which is mapping from B to A. And here we are using instance normalization instead of batch normalization according to paper. Now make 2 discriminators as well to differentiate between real and fake images for both the models. Remember, the discriminator is patch_gain, and I already explained about this in Pix2Pix video, so watch it from the link in the description. Let's see what it will make from the image right now. Feed X and Y image in the both models respectively and plot the output in a subplot. Of course, it's not learned anything yet, so I've expected this. Define lambda for regularization and the value is taken from the paper. Get the binary cross entropy, which will help us to make loss functions. Now make the discriminator loss. It will output real images as 1 and the generated or fake images as 0. Hence the total discriminator loss will be the sum of both discriminator and generator loss. Define the generator loss by measuring how far it is from producing real image. Let's see how these losses are working. We know that the patch_gain classifies whether a patch of image is real or fake. So if a patch is real, it will output 1, otherwise it will be output 0 for that patch only. and we'll pass predicted output of patches and the real to the loss function and see how far the model is currently from producing indistinguishable output. Now we have loss for both generators and discriminators, and it's time to make the cycle loss function. We already know that it is mean absolute error between real and cycle image, so we just have to implement that from TensorFlow predefined functions. Now according to paper, these losses are enough to make cycle consistency loss function. But one important thing is when you take a function to map x to y, then make sure that same function will produce y or near close to y if you input the y itself. That's called identity loss function, which will make sure that network should not modify if it get the target input. Define the identity loss function by measuring mean absolute distance between real image and same prediction image. And with this we have all the loss functions which will require to train the model. Now define the optimizers which will update the network parameters. The optimizers and the learning rate is according to the paper. Now make a function to save the output visualization which model will generate during training. First feed the image to the model and take input image and predicted image in the list. Make a subplot to place both the images side by side. Now place the images on each subplot and set the title. Turn the axis off because we don't need that, and save the whole subplot in a form of image. The images will be stored in a directory named output, so make sure the directory exists, and if not, then make one with the same name. Now we have everything set up, so let's write a function to train the network. This function will take x as source and y as target. Now first generate y from x and then reconstruct x from above predicted y, which is also our cycle output. And this was the mapping from x to y. Now do the inverse mapping. Map x from y and then reconstruct y from predicted x. And for identity function, predict the same output from same input for both the models. Now train both the discriminators on real data and then on fake data or generated data. Now calculate losses for both the generators individually. And then calculate total cycle loss by taking sum of cycle loss for both individual generators. Now the cycle consistent loss will be the sum of respected generator loss, total cycle loss, and identity loss for both the generators. And at last, calculate discriminator loss. Now we have the losses and we can calculate gradients. So by using gradient tape, calculate the gradient for both generators and discriminators individually. Once you have gradients, you can push it backward to update the weights. For that, you can use optimizers to update the network parameters by applying gradients. Do it for both generators and discriminators. Return the losses. Define number of epochs, and for each epoch get a batch of data from training set and pass that batch to train step function. Now if you want, you can print the losses. Get the source image from test set and generate target images. It will save that image in output directory. If you want, you can print how much time does it take to complete one epoch. Now execute the cell. And the training is started now. As you can see, it is utilizing my GPU while training. So it is taking approximately 13 minutes for each epoch. The paper recommend to go for 100 epoch, and if you have a high-end GPU, then please train your model to 100 epochs to get the best result. When the training is being done, save the network weights for every model. Now you can load the weights whenever you want. Now let's try mapping on some test dataset. For each image from the test dataset, generate target image use and save it. All the output will be stored in output directory, and here you can see how apples in the images get converted into orange in every image. For now, I am interrupting it. And let's see how you can generate and plot the predicted image here. First, load and pre-process image using above made function and image path. Expand its dimension and first plot it. Now this is our source image. Let's feed it into the generator, which will translate apple to orange. Now plot the output and you can see the magic of CycleGAN, and this is how it works. There are some more popular dataset out there for training CycleGAN, like summer to winter dataset, or most popular the horse to zebra dataset, on which you can try training CycleGAN. And now this is the time for 3 things to remember from this video. We used UNet architecture for generator, but the paper recommended a ResNet based model for better results. CycleGAN doesn't require any type of paired images, and it can learn a relationship for unpaired image automatically without any supervision. Results with identity loss function is always better than result without identity loss function. The link for the source code is in the description. If you're stuck somewhere, please comment down the reason below or simply DM me on Instagram or Discord. The link is in the description. And as always, thanks for watching.